At the start of the 1980s, Margaret Thatcher was encouraging the small businessman and the entrepreneur. A few years later, the courts and the police forces would persecute many of the people who heeded that call, and her government would pass new laws that effectively forced them out of business. These were the video pioneers, the people who opened high street rental shops and the indie labels who flooded them with obscure movies, while the major labels still dithered over the threat of home viewing and held back their releases. With no censorship laws in force beyond the Obscene Publications Act, then seen as applying only to porn and possibly not even covering video cassettes, the labels were free to release whatever they wanted. Often run by opportunist businessmen rather than film fans, these labels would snap up the rights to movies in bulk without even thinking about the content, and release them in whatever versions were supplied by the rights holders. One such label was Go Video, run by former music executive Des Dolan, who had previously been running Hammer Records, not related to Hammer Films obviously. Starting out briefly as Video 7, Go released a wide variety of titles, ranging from public domain cartoons and films to Euro softcore, comedy, action, drama and horror. There was, it has to be said, no sense that Go had a particular mission statement. They simply released whatever they could get hold of that seemed vaguely commercial in whatever versions were available. Some of the films were outrageous, some tame. Some contained material that the British censors would and had cut for theatrical releases. Others, like The Violation of Justine, were the heavily censored BBFC-approved versions. Some movies had meaningless cuts. Cannibal Holocaust was edited not for violence but simply to reduce the running time, allegedly so that it would fit onto a cheaper 90-minute tape, though this theory has never been proven, and it's just as likely that Go were simply supplied with an edited master copy. There was no sense that Go were trying to specialise or focus. They simply picked up whatever they thought would sell at a time when there were no restrictions on what could be released. It's likely that as some of the company's more outrageous titles proved to be big hits, they sought out more of the same, but otherwise the Go catalogue was entirely random beyond a slant towards Euro exploitation, which probably came from buying bundles of films at film markets back when there was an endless supply of movies available at a low cost from distributors like Eurocine. Surprisingly, in retrospect, many of the Go titles were actually quite recent productions, though of course no one in Britain had actually heard of any of these films, so insular and prudish were the genre magazines of the time. It's probable that the video nasty panic emerged in part because these films had a higher profile than you might otherwise expect, sold with sensationalist covers and dominating the newly emerging rental market. Films like I Spit on Your Grave, The Driller Killer and Zombie Flesh Eaters were regulars in the rental top 10s of 1981 and 1982, something unthinkable a few years later. Even without censorship, obscure movies like this would have been marginalised by the flood of major new titles. The early Go titles are a masterclass in handmade design. Roughly cut out images and crude text creating sleeves that seem defiantly shoddy and amateurish. They also show an impressive lack of restraint when it comes to the images used. The so-called muff shot cover from their first release of Jess Franco's The Demons is crude in all senses. It was reproduced on the Nucleus Films Blu-ray a few years ago, but obviously we can't share it here in all its glory. While the cover art improved with time, the lack of good taste continued, and it was the front covers and full-page magazine ads for films like Cannibal Holocaust and SS Experiment Camp that would be the cause of the ensuing moral panic. The SS Experiment Camp cover was a provocative image of a topless woman crucified upside down with a swastika dangling from her wrist. The adverts in video magazines caused outrage, and Dolan's defence, that the label had already censored the art by adding a pair of knickers to the naked woman, seemed to only inflame people more. Alongside Vipco's equally provocative cover for The Driller Killer, it was this sort of shamelessly lurid promotion that first alerted the powers that be to the fact that high street video shops were awash with films that would never have been passed by the British censors. In fact, the whole of the Video Nasty Panic was based more on the sleeve artwork and advertising, often overtly sensational in an effort to grab the casual viewer, as it was on the actual content of the films. When the Director of Public Prosecutions decided that the obscenity laws did extend to violent imagery and allowed test prosecutions of 4 titles, 2 of them were Go releases: SS Experiment Camp and Cannibal Holocaust. Both films will become mainstays of the Video Nasty banned list. Go's release of Lamberto Bava's Macabre, actually a subtle psychological horror film but packaged in a way that emphasised the deviant sex and gory violence aspect, was held up at the 1983 Conservative Party conference as an example of everything rotten in the video industry, proof that censorship was urgently needed. While these 3 titles brought Go to the attention of both the authorities and the gore hounds, they were actually the exception rather than the rule for the label. While a lot of the Go catalogue was of interest to European trash cinema fans, little of it was outrageous enough to attract the attention of the authorities, other than through association with the banned titles, even if their advertising was still occasionally provocative. Outside of Cannibal Holocaust and SS Experiment Camp, Go actually issued several impressive titles, some of which have subsequently slipped into obscurity, still awaiting resurrection on Blu-ray or even DVD. The label issued a few Italian poliziotteschi films, including Silent Action, Bloody Payroll, Dirty Deal and Bandit. It brought us a handful of Jess Franco films. As well as The Demons, there were Women Behind Bars, Sinner, The Erotic Rites of Frankenstein and Celestine. Cannibal Holocaust was followed with the less problematic Indonesian cannibal film Savage Terror, and then there were oddities like the Greek action films The Abductors, The Brave Bunch and Hero Bunker, the obscure 1974 western Treasure of Tiopa, forgotten 1970s American horror and thriller films like Moonchild, Stranger in the House and The Miracle Man, Euro horror and sexploitation like Devil's Nightmare and Hubert Frank's Triangle of Lust, the Canadian war film The Soldier's Story, retitled Apocalypse the Untold Story to cash in on Apocalypse Now, Japanese disaster movie Earthquake 7.9, martial arts film The Angry Dragon, and a bunch of 1940s movies, including The Big Cat and Scared to Death, which were in the public domain. And then there were the oddities like the low-budget Welsh drama The Mouse and the Woman, Euro weepy They All Loved Him, and a couple of video comics, which were collections of public domain cartoons. It was, to say the least, an eclectic collection. Surprisingly, one obscure title that Go issued just before shutting down, and so was seen by very few people, has subsequently become very significant. Insanity was a retitled version of Christine Hornish's Hollywood 90028, now hailed as an underground art house classic after its recent re-release. The Go release went almost unnoticed though, despite full-page video magazine ads. I don't recall ever seeing it on the shelves of rental stores, something true of many of the later Go titles. Go Video would, like many labels, fizzle out as a combination of police raids, video store caution closures, and the increasing presence of major distributors in the home video market made their titles less viable. The new laws governing indecent displays made the outrageous video sleeve something of a dying art as well. By the end of 1983, Go Video had ceased to operate. But the legend lives on. This is, after all, the label that arguably gave birth to the whole Video Nasty panic, and many of their movies remain cult favourites. Along with Vipco, Go Video is probably the most fondly remembered and iconic of the Video Nasty labels. Thankfully, unlike Vipco, the name has never been resurrected to rain on the parade. At least not yet. So do you have memories of Go Video, or if you were too young to have seen them at the time, which are your favourite films that appeared on the label? Let us know in the comments. I'll be doing a much deeper dive into the total history of video nasties in a future video, so if you have yet to do so, why not subscribe and hit the alert bell to make sure that you don't miss any of our future documentaries. And if you feel like supporting the Overlooked Hotel in a more immediately fiscal manner, we encourage you to visit our crowdfunding outlets or contribute right here via the Super Thanks option. Or just share this and other videos far and wide. Everything helps keep the channel going and growing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.